M0FXB, welcome back to the channel. On the right hand side we have the ANYTONE 80 D168 UV. On the left we have the identical radio by Radioddity called the GD168. Now, one thing I've noticed about these devices is they are pushing the satellite communication. Just look here where it says satellite communication. The ANYTONE 878 has had some new software added that tracks satellites, and I've made several videos on this already. And if we read the Radioddity specifications, which as far as I can see are identical to the ANYTONE ones: DMR tier 1 and 2, quad power selectable, 2 customizable keys, TX and RX noise reduction. You get a choice of 2 batteries, I think, yeah, 2 600 milliamp hour and 1 800. Desktop charging. Pretty sure they're going to have USB-C, surely. I'll look for that in a second. Be nice to know. Yeah, it clearly says it there. 5 watt output, digital and analog. And remember, these DMR radios work very well on digital. Satellite communication, TX, RX noise, 500,000 contacts we need these days. 10,000 talk groups, wow. Type-C charging and programming. I've gone to BRIDGECOM's site and they have the software already, and they are selling this radio. Next shipment expected in December. So again, lots of information from BRIDGECOM. And as you know, BRIDGECOM specialise. Oh, got some nice music there as well. Oh look, they're giving out a free microphone. Gotta be good. So well done to BRIDGECOM. Now, what I love about BRIDGECOM is they always provide really good software download links, and there is actually firmware and a CPS available, which we are going to look at. So quickly back to the brochure. You'll see in the brochure that there is no mention of Bluetooth. Okay, scroll down through. No mention of Bluetooth. Now, these radios, DMR, as far as I can see, always does do APRS. Now, if we look at the actual code plug that I have downloaded just here, which is your classic ANYTONE code plug, nice and easy to do the firmware. Just go to the tools and you've got firmware, you can change the icon. But look here, satellite data writing. So you do not need GPS to use the satellite part of this device, because once it's got your location and you import the satellite data, as they call it, and with OpenGD77 it's called KEPS, I believe, you can track satellites. And the second I get this radio, we'll of course be making a video showing you what that looks like. But the other thing I noticed when I loaded this is it did show up the terms APRS, GPS and Bluetooth. Yeah, now you cannot see any sign of Bluetooth on this radio, and I have clearly been told it does not, this model does not have Bluetooth. But look at the ANYTONE listing at the very top. It shows the GPS emblem and BT, Bluetooth. Okay, so I feel like it's not something that we can completely rule out. There may be they may have decided to get this one out first, and I am guessing, don't take my word for this, get this one out on into the market, sell it first for it is a reasonable price in the UK. I think it's about 120, 130 pound delivered. Not sure about the USA. We'll have another look at BRIDGECOM in a sec. And then I feel like they're going to do what they did with the ANYTONE 878, where you have the newer model and then they add functions and charge you more money, unfortunately. But anyway, there is a big learning with any DMR radio. There's massive learning with a DMR radio, learning about channels, zones. The main thing is, even I have to stall and think when I think about it. There's no channels in here. But when you have a DMR channel, let me just quickly refresh. So you have to add the frequency. I'm just going to sort of do this in front of you. So 434, let's just go 400, can be my hotspot. If it's a repeater, there'll be a shift, yeah? So 400. But I'm just going to do it simplex like it's a hotspot. Now you have to link the frequency and the channel. Let's give the channel a name, so we'll call it hotspot, okay? at the top here, hotspot, or do it in caps. Hotspot. You can buy pre-made code plugs. That is probably, if you're brand new to DMR, it's probably sensible to go that way first and then look at a code plug and change it and learn that way. But I've learned that for me personally, to properly learn how to use DMR was to just delete everything and start from scratch. And so this is what I'm doing here with this one. And you'll notice here there are APRS settings there. But anyway, let's just stick to doing a basic hotspot channel. So you've got the frequency, you put the name in, but then you have to select digital, because you could have selected a normal analog repeater. And if you do select analog at the bottom here, look, you can put in your CT CSS. There's no shift with this kind of code plug. You add the receive frequency, the transmit frequency, that is your shift. But anyway, so the number one thing when you're doing a hotspot is you have to link it to a contact. So, and that's only going to show up in digital. So go back to digital, just here, contact. Now there are contacts put in by default. You can import hundreds of contacts. But otherwise you have to create a contact. What is a contact? It's a talk group. Yeah, it's a room that you talk in. If you go down here on the left and click contact talk group, let's just click OK here for now. Right, so we've partially created that channel. And then go to contact talk group. There's none here at the moment. Let's just check. Of course you need to put in your DMR number, otherwise it's definitely not going to work. So that would go here where there's digital here, contact talk group, radio ID. Oops. We're going to put in 2341437. If it lets me there. If you double click, you get this window 2341437, and then I'm just going to put in M0FXB. The call sign, it will actually work, believe it or not, without a call sign, because it knows from your DMR number, you know, what your call sign is. So go down one to contact talk group, double click, and there's none here at the moment. Now a common one is if I just double click the top line and put in, call it worldwide 91, and it's a group call. So that's when you're talking in rooms where other people are talking as well. If you go private, it's direct, or it could be a command, but generally you're using group call, not private call. And then the number, so 91, and it won't let you do this twice. You can only have the number put in once, and there are hundreds. But anyway, click OK, you've created a contact. So if we go back now to the channel, yeah? Back to the channel. There's the channel we started doing. Double click. It saves everything as you go. Then here, contact 91. Look, but if you had created multiple contacts in that list that we showed you, you just click that and you would select from a big list. Now remember, if you get a code plug included, you're going to have hundreds of contacts in there, but this is the basics. Then we're talking color code. What is color code? It's like digital CT CSS. So one repeater might have color code 3, another repeater might have color code 5. But generally, I find color code 1 works with most hotspots. Then you've got slot 1 and 2, and for me, this is underneath, yeah? The easiest way to describe this is that the channel has been cut in half, so that one channel can be used twice, yeah? So you can have data and voice running at both halves of the channel at the same time. You actually can, and I've done this. And so that means that if you've got two radios on the same frequency, one's on slot 1, the other's on slot 2, yeah, and a dual hotspot sending out two lots of voice and data, you will receive from one hotspot, or repeater, I suppose, never tried that. You will receive, both radios will be activated on different separate channels, and that's why you have slots. It's a commercial thing to make better use of the channels. Now there's a lot more to this, of course. You need to set your timeout, how long you speak as well, your power, just here. A lot of the settings by default are okay. I'm just looking down through. I do tend to use slot 2, I think, on my hotspot. And then if I want to put in a command, or I tend to use slot 1, like commands like 4000. So that's the basics. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't program DMR every day, but it's one of those things, if you do it for a while, then it just all comes to you. You've got GPS roaming here, APRS setup, which is a whole video in itself. But once you've got the basics in there, it's not actually that bad. But that's the digital side, and which I've never used a DMR radio that doesn't work on digital APRS if you're using Brandmeister. Brandmeister is one of the servers. You would have heard of Phoenix and TGIF. So they imagine they've got a computer that's handling all these rooms, talk group DMR rooms. That's what Brandmeister is, just a very advanced, and I mean the investment that must have gone into it would have been very high. And you can set a password so someone else can't be naughty and use your call sign. And so this is they have settings within this for APRS that will allow pretty much every DMR radio to transmit APRS and show up on APRS FI. And definitely check that out and download an app called APRS Droid, which is free on receive. You'd like that as well. That looks like this. You can just sit there and watch the different APRS stations sending each other messages. It's excellent. Definitely check it out. APRS Droid, APRS FI. That's your Brandmeister. So if you're brand new to a DMR radio, I think this is actually a very good choice to make. You know, whether it's the ANYTONE or the GD88 version. It is a compact one. It's not as tall as the 878, but you can see how it's got the dual. It's quite a large screen. 1.77 inch screen, enough to show the data. I've got a device here that's very similar, which is the BT01. Now that screen looks virtually the same. This is actually a Bluetooth microphone, but it has a screen that connects to my mobile radio, the ANYTONE 578, which is a very good DMR radio. Dual receive on that one. The thing about and I think the same goes for the 168. They have not added dual simultaneous receive, as far as I know, and I hope I'm wrong about that, because it will have dual watch, so you'll hear one at a time. But if we could hear simultaneous receive at the same time, that would be a big plus. But we do have two knobs. I do like that. A separate volume knob, a separate channel changing knob. We've got programmable buttons. We've got the classic Kenwood 2-pin on the right hand side, and then you can see there that the keys, full keypad, which we like, up and down arrows. So if you look at the top of this, it's almost like they've made room for the knobs there. But like I said, if you open this up, it's more like an Android phone inside. So if you want to enter the world of DMR, check it out. I'm sure I've missed some information. I can't see the dual watch thing. It does say UHF 6 watt there and 7 watt on the Radioddity one, but in this listing it says 5 watt. So quad power selectable. Well, now where did I just see the 6 thing? Ignore that I said 6. Power, it says here, transmitting part, VHF 7, UHF 6, modulation. So it definitely says that there, but then when you look at the listing, it's not saying that. So I do think it's a good way to get into DMR. Thanks to BRIDGECOM for all their information and their downloads. Hopefully you get something from this video. If you do, please hit the like. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification, buy my wife a coffee, she'll love that. And please join my YouTube channel, because I'm trying to build a community here of people that help people. It's only £1 a month. And, if I've helped you in the past, if you've got a radio, if I've helped you several times, and thanks to me, you were able to quickly set it up, or there was a question that you just could not get right, because I will spend hours and hours tinkering until I find the answer to many questions. I've got a question now about airband on the RT4B, which someone's given me the answer to. I'm going to make a video now on it, but I'm going to learn it first. So if I'm helping you, then to join my community and knowing that whenever you send a message to Andreas and ask for help, that you're part of that community, the £1 a month is just your way of going, thanks Andreas, and it will save you hours and hours, and I just want to grow it. And then if there's if we can get to 100,000 subscribers, little old Andreas sat in my crazy shack here, helping people, helping myself, and we can show the world that this guy who started off just programming his Bofeng and recording a video on YouTube ended up helping thousands of hands all around the world for years. Wow, I think that's good for all of us. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.